New York Giants fans, predictably, after the Cam Ward Pro Day, the Titans are absolutely in love with Cam Ward, and it's going to take a king's ransom to get them off of him. It's going to take a ton of picks, a ton of assets in order to trade up to get to number one. It's not surprising. Why? Because that's what you're supposed to say when you have the number one overall pick and people think that they should trade up to get the number one pick to take a quarterback. But here's the truth of the matter. If they really believe that Cam Ward is that good, there's no amount of money that's making them trade. I've got one thing to tell you, Giants fans. Do not trade up. The fix is in. You're about to get hosed. I'm Coach Gene Clemens, and I've got a giant issue. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of A Giant Issue. I am Coach Gene Clemens. New York Giants on SI. That's where you get all of your New York Giants news and information. Make sure you go over there, check out everything that's going on. Check out all of my Good, Great, and Ugly series. Check out other articles that I have dropping over there. Then mosey on over with your fingertips to YouTube. Go to the New York Giants on SI YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so that you know anytime I'm dropping a new Giant Issue podcast. Look, I think anybody who has Cam Ward as the number one quarterback on their list, anybody who thinks that Cam Ward is the number one quarterback they should take. I'm not mad at you. If the Giants took Cam Ward, I wouldn't be upset at all. If Cam Ward goes number one overall, I think that's fantastic. Why? Because he's a fantastic talent, right? I just believe, me personally, I just believe that Shedeur Sanders is a better, more pro-ready quarterback. It doesn't mean that I don't love Cam Ward. It doesn't have to be an either or. It can be both. Here's what I'll tell you. Nobody that truly loves Cam Ward started loving him after they watched him work out in shorts and a t-shirt. Because everything that Cam Ward showed at that pro day, it's all the stuff you already saw with helmet and shoulder pads on and defenders trying to hit him and live bullets flying. They didn't do anything. He didn't show anything in that workout that was a question that I needed to have answered. He didn't do anything in that workout that was a question that anybody out there where you are needed answered. He didn't do anything in that workout where scouts were going, we need to see him do this in the workout so we can check that off the box. Because he's done it already in the film. Who didn't know that he had a cannon for an arm and the ball jumped off of his hands? Who didn't watch like a film of him back at Incarnate Word and figure that one out? Who didn't see that his accuracy has continued to improve every single year he's been in college? From Incarnate Word to his 2 years at Washington State to now at Miami. Who didn't think that that was a thing, that his accuracy has improved? Who hasn't seen him move and run and think that he's not an elite level athlete? He came out of a running triple option style offense. He was a running guy. That's why he didn't have any offers other than Incarnate Word, because nobody knew he can throw the ball. They all just thought that he was a runner. I'm sure he had a lot of people who said, hey, if you change position and become a wide receiver, you can be a 4-star guy. but he's a quarterback, and he was willing to die with the craft. I appreciate that. Nobody went out and watched him perform and found out anything new about Cam Ward. Everything that we saw him do, it was all stuff that you saw on the Well Off Media page on YouTube. Hey, salute to Deion Sanders Jr., aka Bucky, and the entire Well Off family for what they've done. They showed us all of this. None of this is new. We've seen it. And yet somehow the Titans just fell in love with him more? Are we serious? Do we really supposed to believe this? Or is it lying season? Like I told you guys yesterday, and I've told you forever, it's lying season. So now we have to lie about how good we really think Cam Ward is, because we want somebody to pay a king's ransom to come up and grab this guy. Here's the problem, Giants fans. Who are you competing against? Right? Because a lot of you out there would love to see the Giants trade up to number 1 and get Cam Ward. Cool. If it happens, I'm not going to be mad. But the truth is, who are you competing with? Who are you bidding against? I've said this before. The worst thing to do when you're hungry is go shopping. When you go food shopping, when you're hungry, everything looks good. When you're out as a guy or a girl, a guy or a woman, and you go out with the homies, you go out with the girlfriends, when you're looking, quote unquote, looking for somebody, that's when you make bad choices. It's when you're not looking, it's when you're not thirsty that the best drinks come around. It's when you're not hungry that you end up finding the best deals on food. And so the Giants need to stop operating from a level of hunger. You have a quarterback. Whether you like him or not, you have a quarterback that is capable of being a starting quarterback in the league. If not anything else, for 1 year. So you don't have to bid against yourself if you put a modest offer out there to the Titans. And the Titans are not convinced that Cam Ward is their guy. They'll take the offer. You want to know why? Because nobody else is offering them anything where they would want to drop down to. So I thought it'd be fun to do this, because I said I was going to talk about the quarterbacks, but to be honest with you, like outside of maybe 2 dudes, I don't want to see any of those dudes with the Giants. Right? Outside of 2 guys that's beyond the top 2, I don't want to see any of those other guys with the Giants. So why do I need to talk about them? Here's what I want to do. I want to look at the draft order, because I want you to understand why it doesn't make any sense to reach. I want you to understand why it doesn't make any sense for you to want the Giants to bid against themselves to move up to number 1. You have to be comfortable with what might drop to you. So here's what I'll say first, right? The NFL draft order, and this is according to NFL.com, right? Their writer, Dan Parr, he is the original content editor over at NFL.com, right? He put out a first round draft order with the biggest needs for every team, right? The biggest needs for every team. So at number 1, the Tennessee Titans, their biggest need is quarterback, edge, wide receiver, linebacker, and safety. In a draft where everybody has spent the entire offseason telling us how these players are not elite, how these quarterbacks would not be amongst the tops if this was 2024, why would the Titans reach at number 1 for a quarterback? Doesn't make any sense, right? Unless they absolutely love Cam Ward, which if they do, I can't be mad at them. Unless they absolutely love Shedeur Sanders, which if they do, I can't be mad at them. So, yes, there's a chance that the Titans could pick a quarterback at 1. But are they willing to pass up the generational talent that's the wide receiver 1 in this draft, in my opinion? Travis Hunter. Oh, by the way, he's the wide receiver. I mean, he's the cornerback 2 at worst. Cornerback 1, in my opinion, but cornerback 2 at worst. Are the Titans going to pass up a generational talent in order to take a quarterback that they feel they could get next year? A quarterback who has a talent where, heck, we could find that on, like, kicking around the NFL. At least that's what we've been told, right? About these quarterbacks. They're not that great. Or have people just been lying? So, yes, they could take a quarterback, but they could also take the edge rusher that everybody thinks, right, is a generational talent, that everyone thinks is the next Micah Parsons, only he tackles more, right? That's a possibility. So if they pass on quarterback, then that means one of those quarterbacks are going to drop to the Giants. And it doesn't matter which one drops to the Giants are taking him. At pick number 2, the Browns, their biggest needs: quarterback, edge rusher, offensive line, running back, safety. Now, same thing applies for them. They could take a quarterback. Because let's just say the Titans take a quarterback. And now Shedeur Sanders is sitting there in front of Cleveland. Is he their guy? They brought in Kenny Pickett. They're saying that he is a backup, but Kenny Pickett has starting experience. Kenny Pickett has played some good football at times. And we know that Deshaun Watson still has a lot of money that's guaranteed left on the contract, and that he's trying to get back. So do they say, hey, we're not going to do that right now because now we're just going to have a whole lot of money tied up in quarterbacks that can't help us? Or are we going to take BPA? And the best player available in this draft might not be quarterback to them. What if it's edge rusher? What if it's offensive line? What if it's Ashton Jeanty at 2? What if they decide they want to really, really focus on that run game? Really focus on that defense? What good would it have been for the Giants to move up to number 1 to get Cam Ward and mortgage as much as the Titans say they want for Cam Ward? If they want that much for Cam Ward, then guess what? They never wanted Cam Ward. You, as a team that needs a quarterback, why would you ever allow the quarterback that you are absolutely in love with to go somewhere else? That doesn't make any sense. Hey, we really love this quarterback, but those 3 first-round draft picks that we can't guarantee is going to be anything, we're going to take those instead of this franchise quarterback that we absolutely adore. Meanwhile, people are willing to trade away 3 first-round draft picks to secure the quarterback that they absolutely love. You have the quarterback that you absolutely love sitting right in your lap, and you're going to trade them away? Doesn't make any sense. makes 0 sense. So I don't think that happens. Either the Titans are 100% taking Cam Ward, or throw an offer out there that makes sense. Throw an offer out there that they're not going to laugh at. Offer them a first and a third, maybe a conditional pick in 2026, but that's it. You're moving up 2 slots. We're going to give you a first and a third. You're going to move to 3 and take the player that you probably were going to take at 1 anyway. Because if the Giants move up and get Cam Ward at 1, it doesn't matter who the Browns get. The Titans are going to get the person that they wanted, because it probably means they didn't want a quarterback. It means that they wanted Travis Hunter, or they wanted their edge rusher, right? You either want Travis Hunter or you want your edge rusher. Because you have an argument that you would have taken both of them at the top of the draft. So if you're not going to take Abdul Carter, and you're not going to take Travis Hunter, and you're going to take a quarterback, why would you ever move from one? Just take the quarterback and keep this thing moving. But here's the part that I keep telling you guys to watch for the okie doke. Because what's the competition that the Giants have to worry about for the number 1 overall pick? If somebody's coming to the number 1 pick to not take a quarterback, that means the Giants are guaranteed a quarterback at 3. Which means that the only people coming to number 1 is if they're coming there to take a quarterback, because the Titans can't move that far down and still get the guy that they want. And the further down you go, the more it's going to cost. So pick 4 is the Patriots. They don't have a quarterback need. Pick 5 is the Jaguars. They don't have a quarterback need, maybe. Pick 6 is the Las Vegas Raiders. They just traded for Geno Smith, gave him a contract extension. They are in the business of winning right now. They're not getting a quarterback. Pick 7 is the Jets. They just brought in Justin Fields. Are they in the market for a quarterback? Let's say they are. How much is it going to cost you to go from 7 to 1? That's a couple firsts, a third, maybe 2 firsts, 2 firsts, a third, a 5th. That's going to cost you a lot. They're not doing that. Carolina doesn't need a quarterback. New Orleans, they need a quarterback, but it's not high on their priority list. But they need a quarterback, but they're at 9. Can you go from 9 to 1? You know how much they're going to want for you to go from 9 to 1? Because it's not just you going up to 1, it's them coming down to 9. That means everybody that they thought that they would be able to get at 1, everybody's gone. See the beauty of the different needs, right? If you're the Titans, quarterback, edge, wide receiver, linebacker, safety. If you move from 1 to 9, your quarterback's gone, your edge rusher's gone, your offensive line is gone, your wide receiver is gone, your safety is most likely gone, and your linebacker might be gone. He might not, but he might be. But if this is your first round pick at 9, are you ready to burn that on a linebacker? There are questions that would have to be answered. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is having all of these extra picks that we don't know what they're going to turn into worth giving up this commodity that we are in love with? After that, you get down to the Bears, who don't need it. San Francisco, no. Cowboys, no. Miami, no. But the Colts, no. Falcons, no. Cardinals, no. Bengals, no. Seahawks, no. Tampa Bay, no. Broncos, no. You don't get to another quarterback need until you get to 21, where Pittsburgh is, and there is no way Pittsburgh moves from 21 all the way to number 1. So again, Giants fans, I ask you, who are you bidding against for the number 1 overall pick? Because if you're bidding against yourselves, then you've gone shopping hungry, and the Titans know it. But if you say, hey, listen, we've got Jameis Winston, we're Gucci. We've got Jameis Winston, we're good. If we get our quarterback in the first round this year, cool. If we don't, we'll grab a quarterback in the second or third round as a developmental guy, see what he does, try it again next year, or try it again in 2 years. You have to not be thirsty. Oh, we didn't get who we wanted. Aaron Rodgers is still out there. Maybe we'll go Aaron Rodgers. And in the worst case scenario, where you get Cam Ward gone at 1, Shedeur Sanders gone at 2, you get the chance to choose between a generational talent at 2 positions of need, wide receiver and cornerback, or you get to add the premier pass rusher in the draft. Or you get a chance to trade down, because there are going to be people hitting your phone up trying to get to number 3 if those 2 guys drop. And so now you can wheel and deal. If you're sitting at 3 and there's no quarterback there, I would almost argue it's time to deal. It's time to willy-dilly. It's time to add more picks if you're the Giants. But what you can't do is take away assets to jump up and get somebody potentially that they don't want to give up anyway, or that they never had an interest in. It could easily be Abdul Carter at number 1. It could easily be Travis Hunter at number 1. And if they go number 1, there's no guarantee that Cam Ward's at number 2. They could go the opposite way that the other team went. There's a chance you could get to number 3 and Cam Ward still be sitting there along with Shedeur. Now you've got to make the decision. But if you love Cam Ward, go get Cam Ward. So I'm not saying don't trade up to number 1. I'm saying don't feel as if you have to trade up to number 1, because that's hungry. That's thirsty. That's going shopping when the stomach is empty. What you should be trying to do is put a light offer out there. Oh, you don't like it? Cool. Go ahead and draft whoever you're going to draft. And when it comes out that, hey, the Giants only offered a first and a third this year, or first, third, and a 5th round next year, go, yeah, that's all we offered. Because who are we bidding against? If the Titans wanted to trade the pick, who cares what they get for the pick? Because trading down to 3 guarantees them that they're going to get one of the guys that they want, and they pick up extra picks. I never understood that, by the way. Like, I never understood why you absolutely only can trade like by some magical formula people have put together. No, if I want to go from first to third, and somebody wants to give me a 2nd round pick as compensation for moving from first to third, and I look at my big board and I say, hey, if I move to third, I'm still going to get the guy that I'm coveting at 1. or I'm still going to get one of the guys that I would have taken at 1, then yes. And then somebody's going to say, well, why didn't you move down to 7? Because at 7, I can't get that guy. At 5, I can't get that guy. 4, I might not be able to get that guy, but at 3, I can. Right? And here's what happens. Here's the fun part. If we get down to 3 and I realize, oh, snap, that guy that I wanted, I can still get him 2 spots later. Let me try to make a deal with the guy at 5, drop down, get another 2nd, get another 3rd, and pimp the game that way all the way down to the point where I don't feel as if I can get the same return on my investment. That's what it is. That's how you get it done. You never negotiate from a position of weakness. You never negotiate from a position of weakness. You never go shopping hungry. You never go looking for water thirsty or looking for a drink thirsty, because everything is going to taste good. Doesn't matter what they give you. This is how the Giants have to start behaving if they don't want to just get fleeced in these deals. People keep talking about how great Joe Schoen is at these trades that he's making. Okay, cool. I'll bite. Right? Is whomever the Giants turned the pick into that they got for Leonard Williams, is that person a better at their position than Leonard Williams is? No, because they made that trade out of haste. They were thirsty. They just wanted to get some money off the books, get it off the books, get off the books. And they gave him up for a ham sandwich. Oh, well, they gave him up for more than what they got him for, or they paid for him. What does that matter? If you paid a minimum amount for him and then you traded him for a higher value, doesn't that mean that it was a great trade in the first place and maybe you shouldn't trade him away? I don't understand it. I just leave you with this, Giants fans. Who are they bidding against to get to number 1? If it's just, hey, here's an offer, nah, we reject the offer. Here's the offer, nah, we reject the offer. Hey, homeboy, homegirl, you don't want to trade that pick. Cool. Stay at 1, do what you do. We'll take our chances. Or maybe even, hey, Browns, we want a quarterback. Are you guys going for a quarterback? Because we'll give you a 3rd-round pick to move up 1 spot to ensure that we get our quarterback, to ensure that nobody else can jump us into 2. We'll give you a 3rd-round pick. Because again, look behind the Giants. Who are they bidding against? It's going to cost the Saints too much. It's probably going to cost anybody in those realms too much. Just the ABCs of how you get it done, right? I'm interested to see what happens. And if it is a trade, I'll be interested to see how much the Giants gave up. But if there's no trade, I won't be mad. I won't be mad, because that'll be the Giants saying, no, this is what we're willing to do. Here's the line in the sand. We don't cross it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I have today. New York Giants on SI. That's where you get all of your New York Giants news and information. Make sure you go check it out. The good, great, and uglies and everything over there is a lot going on. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like. Make sure you leave a comment. I love the fact, my first Winston pod, tons of views, but really what I was excited about, well over 100 comments, and then because of that, good conversations back and forth. If y'all don't know, I get in the comments, I start answering, I start talking back. Come join this community, because if you have an issue, then I have a giant issue. That's what we're here for. And I love it. So I appreciate all of you who've come along for the journey, who've told other people. Continue to spread the word. Start spreading the news. Just a little bit of karaoke. That's all. Until next time, I'm Coach Gene Clemens, and I have a giant issue.